Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to do a fun, colorful poppy field. I'm going to be doing kind of blurry backgrounds. It's going to be very impressionist style. A lot of fun and super easy, I think. I've got my husband, Mark, with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's been in chat for our live show, so if you have questions, you can ask those while I'm painting, and I will try to answer them. Let's get started. All right, so to begin with, we're going to be using a 9 by 12 inch Pro Belgian linen archival canvas board from Fredrix. This is kind of my go-to canvas. They're nice and thin, so I can store them really easily, pop them into frames if I need to, and they've got a nice kind of low textured, smooth surface. Our brushes are going to be just a few different brushes here. I've got some different sizes, a couple of bright brushes, bright flat, number 12, number 8 brights, and then a number 6 and number 4 Filbert. That'll be most of our background work, and then when we do some of the details, we might get into some smaller brushes. So I've got a 3/8 inch and a 1/4 inch angle and a number 3 round. And then for some of the blurry effects, we'll want some sort of a stippler. So I've got a 3/8 inch Deerfoot stippler here, and then these two are Willow's blenders, 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch. So those will be kind of our main brushes. Oh, and I forgot one. We're going to probably do some splatters, hashtag splatter movement.
What?
So we'll have a fan brush for that. Thank you to Princeton, our brush sponsor. These are the 6100 series in the green handles. They're long, and then the VelvetTouch in the shorter red handles. And all of those are listed, and all of the materials that we're going to be using are listed down in the description of the video if you want to check those out. Let's go over our colors really quick. Got a few colors that we haven't used before. If you don't have them, that's fine. You can just use what you've got that's similar. I'll show you kind of how to mix something close to it. But I've got Quinacridone Magenta, Cadmium Red Medium, Cadmium Red Light. This is Indian Yellow Hue, which is kind of an orangey yellow. This is Diarylide. I never can say that right. Diarylide Yellow. Which is similar to the Indian Yellow, just a little bit more of an orangey yellow, Yellow Oxide, Cadmium Yellow Medium, Phthalo Green Yellow Shade. This one's called Green Gold. This is another new color. Ultramarine Blue, Dioxazine Purple, Burnt Sienna, Burnt Umber, Titanium White, and Unbleached Titanium. And then this big old blob here was Fluorescent Magenta. And this is also a color that, I mean, if you don't have any of the fluorescent colors, just use your Quinacridone Magenta and add a little bit of white to it. It'll get something similar. It just won't be quite as, like, day glow bright. But I had it. Might as well use it, right? I have all these colors I never use. So I just thought, you know, why not? Let's just pull some of them out. So I am going to use my large flat brush here for the background. I'm not going to really sketch out anything. I'm just going to kind of go with the flow on this one. If you want to, if that kind of stresses you out, you can kind of maybe put in a few of your larger blossoms. The poppies are kind of a diamond shape or kind of triangular shape. They kind of flatten out when you see them from the side. Most of them you're really seeing kind of facing away from you or facing the side. Not very many of these are, actually I don't think any of them are looking straight at you. So you're not seeing like the circle, you're seeing more of the flat edge of them. So they kind of do these kind of little cupping shapes, and petals kind of overlap in triangles. So we can do a few of those and sort of work around them a little bit. But the rest of these are kind of just little random circles and things. All of our red is kind of like right in the middle there. But like I said, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. We're just going to kind of jump in here and have some fun with our colors. So if you don't have the green gold, you can use like your Phthalo green and some cadmium yellow and some yellow oxide, and you'll get something similar. So there's the phthalo green that I just mixed, and here is the green gold. Difference being This one is a little bit brighter and it's transparent. So it's just got a little bit more of a luminous quality. If you used Hansa or another like transparent yellow, you'd probably, or like a transparent yellow oxide, you could probably get something closer to this. So I'm just going to kind of use both of these and just dab it in here in my background. Move around different places. And I don't have to cover everything right now. I'm just going to kind of add this color wherever I'm seeing some pops of green. And if you wanted to, you could, I thought about painting like the whole background like a color like orange or something like that. That would be nice too. Give us a nice ground to start with. Kind of saves a step. So I didn't do it this time. But sometimes I like to do that. Okay, so here we go. And then I'm going to use some of this brighter kind of yellow, Diarylide Yellow up in here. It's mixed a little bit with that green. And I'm not really trying to get my blendy or my edges super blended because they're kind of, well, this area back here is kind of blended, but they've got all kinds of different things going on here, so I'm just not really going to get too stressed out about this. I think this will be a really fun one for a beginner to just kind of play with your colors, see what they do. Let's get some more of this yellow here. Now that green kind of toned it down. There's some bright yellow. That green was in my brush, was kind of toning it down. Now we're getting some brighter color on here. I just want hints of other colors happening. Let's get some yellow, get some opaque color happening over some of these green areas. Maybe get a little bit of this Cadmium Red Light. Mix it. So if you don't have the Diarylide Yellow, you can add, like, you can see I'm getting a color that's close to it by just adding a little bit of Cadmium Red Light to my Cadmium Yellow Medium.
I want to say hi to everybody.
Yeah, hi guys.
Welcome to the show. Sorry we were a little late. It was because of me. I was reminding
being the man. What?
I was exactly going to say that. I was going to say I was reminding Angela that I'm a man.
I did not forget, but I'm glad. Thank you.
She took it in stride. I'm still alive and conscious, so that's okay. Good.
It's like, why is this video not playing? That's the one from Sunday, honey.
Why does it say tangerines?
Because you didn't change it over to today's video.
But you didn't change it for me. How come you not change it for me?
I didn't know I had to, but okay. I usually do. I just didn't realize there was an issue. All right. Moving on. I'm going to grab my number 8 bright here. And some of the white. And some of my Ultramarine Blue.
And we have a question about the background when you get an opportunity.
Do it.
They said that every time they try to do the background with this method, it goes too dark. What can they do to make it better?
I guess I'm trying to think. I mean, I guess, are they using too much paint? I wonder if they're using too much paint. Because, I mean, I guess, you know, if you look at these colors, like on their, in their full strength, they're really pretty dark, most of them, except for the yellows, obviously. So, what I'm doing when I'm doing this is I'm leaving a little bit of that yellow, the light color of the background of the canvas showing through, and that's lightening them. So if you're having trouble, it is probably that you're putting your paint on a little bit thicker than I am. What you can do is just add a little bit of white to your paint when you're, obviously Spencer's not on cat duty tonight.
Sending him a text right now.
Cat's trying to get in the studio. Add a little white and it'll okay, he must have got her because she stopped. She's escaped. Our cat is so weird. Nope.
I'll be right back. Wait for the meow.
Knock, knock, knock.
And open the door.
Okay. Oh, is that you? Oh, did you need to come out and see me? All right, here is some. So I just kind of added a little bit dabs of blue here and there. And then I'm adding a little bit of the quinacridone in here up in this upper corner here. And just working it in a couple places. Using a little bit of glazing liquid can help too, because that'll thin down your paints a little bit, make them a little bit more transparent. So that might be something to try also. The thing about using white is that it does kind of dull your colors a little bit. So I try not to use it as much, you know, too much, not to overdo it. But, yeah, that sounds like it's probably just going on a little thick. That would be my first guess. All right, so really, I mean, honestly, this painting is very, like, interpretive. You can pretty much do what seems fun to you. So I would say just kind of, I'm adding some of this fluorescent in here and some of these white areas so that that shows up. This is one of those fun paintings that's really not very forgiving. I think I'm going to add a little bit of white to my fluorescent here. Just get a little bit brighter area here. It is very transparent, so it's not going to cover over these other colors very well. So wherever we want to have it, we'll add a little bit of the white, and then what we can do is we can go back in and put some more full strength color over the top to brighten it up. So you start out with the kind of the white color, and then you let that dry, and then add the darker on top.
People don't know that usually in the background I do interpretive dance while you're painting. While you do interpretive painting, I do interpretive dance. Yes. Too bad we don't have a camera to.
This is the color yellow.
You can't do my dance.
What cartoon was that from? There was a cartoon that did. Don't you remember that? Where he was dancing and he said, "This is yellow." It was one that Spencer watched for a while there. It was one of those weird ones. Like it was like real skinny, weird looking guy.
The regular show?
Yes, the regular show. Yeah. Yeah. One of the characters on there was doing an interpretive dance with colors. And like, cracked me up. It's probably the only episode I've ever watched, but it's too good.
Maybe for like a $100,000 super chat, I'll let them see my interpretive dance.
Oh, Lordy.
They think I'll dance for thumbs up. I used to do that.
You're bigger now. You've moved on. All right, so now I've got a little bit more of this light blue, and I'm just adding. So I'm just going to be adding different layers. Really, this is just going to be layers on top of layers here on this painting. And then we'll do the red on top at the very kind of towards the end once we get all of our layers on here. But this is pretty much kind of whatever looks good to you. I'm not going to get too tied down in any one area. Don't spend too much time in one spot. Just kind of keep moving on and try different things. We'll add a little bit of yellow to this. I've got a little bit of this blue still on my thing, so it's creating kind of a soft yellow green color here.
And then
it's pretty.
Yes, the fluorescent color is a golden.
Yes. It's
line.
This one right here.
It's in a little tub.
It comes in a little tub, yeah. It's very fluid, very thin. So now I'm going to go over here and just kind of touch up these edges. So I'm kind of just going over the top of some of these edges to soften them up. That's what gives it that blurry look. See how all of a sudden it kind of looks blurry there? It's just because I'm going over the dark color with the lighter color. And it softens those edges up. See that? And then I'll go back over it again with the dark color again, and you'll see these little soft blurry edges. Then we'll have like a more crisp edge with the really bright color. It'll just give it really cool depth, and that's kind of how you go about achieving that look. All right, so let's grab some more of this Diarylide. Diarylide? I don't know. Never can say it right. Yellow, let's get some Indian Yellow Hue too. There we go. A little bit of red. Cadmium Red Light. Mix a little bit of the yellow in with it, just a little bit to get a brighter orangey color. There we go. Cadmium Red Light is very opaque, so just use a little bit of this. It'll tone it down just a little bit because it's super bright. It's really pretty. I like these colors. Okay, so just tabbing over the top of whatever I got here.
So if they don't have the yellow light, what could they go with?
You can mix something similar with Cadmium Yellow Medium and a little touch of Cadmium Red Light. It's pretty similar. So that's almost the same, nearly. But I just like, I've got these colors out. I might as well use them, right? I've got all these colors in my thing. Sometimes people like to see new colors, so.
You bought them for a reason.
Yeah. Well, I bought most of these before I was doing YouTube because I used to like to experiment with a lot of different colors. But since I started doing the YouTube videos, I've kind of tried to stick with a palette that's the same because, I know people are going out and having to buy these to do these tutorials. So I don't like to do anything that's too, change it up too often. I don't want people to have to go out, feel like they have to go out and buy paints every weekend, every time I do a new painting. So
maybe they want you to. They can tell their significant other, like, hey, I got to go buy another paint. Seriously. So I'm sorry, it's not me. It's Angela.
That's true. Yeah.
You can blame Angela.
Okay, that seems fair. I'll take the blame for that. All right, so this transition right here is awfully, rough right now. So we're just going to work on that. I'm going to grab some of that green that's kind of this color here, right? And maybe a little bit of white. The white will help it be more opaque. And I'm just going to go over that edge with it, see how it covers. And if it doesn't cover enough, we can give it another coat, or we can go back in with that purple color. And I think this is doing pretty well though. So grab a little bit of that Quinacridone Magenta, which was mixed in with the green to create this color up in here. And just go back down over it and see how I kind of tried to disguise that edge because it was almost like a straight line there. So to disguise it, I'm going to bring in some of this color in a random pattern to break up that straight line. So I brought it all the way out in here even. And I've switched to a little bit smaller Filbert here. I think I already mentioned that, but just in case I didn't. Grab a little bit of the quinacridone and let's do the same thing up here. So a bit darker corner. Yeah, I didn't put the colors in the... I grabbed them right before the video, so if they're looking in the description right now, they're not in there yet.
So that's how you spell diary, right? D-I-A-R-Y.
Yeah, that's why I keep wondering if it's called Diarylide.
Diarylide. Something like that.
Yeah. And you made fun of me last time because I was calling it Diarylide.
Or Diarylide.
Diarylide. Okay, that's probably right.
More scientific sounding.
Diarylide. Yeah, that's probably better. All right, so a little bit of purple mixed in with my Ultramarine Blue to get a bright purpley blue. A little bit more of my glazing liquid. And this is drying fairly quickly, so I'm just kind of working on, so this is dry now, so I'm going to go back in and work on it. I want to make sure I got all my orange out of this brush though, because if it touches that blue, then it won't be bright anymore. And I do want to keep it bright. These colors are really vivid. So most of the time I would kind of tone down my colors a little bit, just because nature colors are usually not, straight out of the bottle vivid blue or purple or whatever, but in this case, this picture is really got them pretty bright, so I'm going to go ahead and go for it. Use that bright blue. Wipe my brush off a little bit. There we go. So we're just going to glaze over here and add a little bit of this brighter blue here, and I'm not going to go over too much of my yellowish colors because it'll kind of turn them brown. I'm just kind of going around them.
Okay, according to the internet, they are organic compounds that are used as pigments in inks and related materials.
What are?
They are often yellow or yellow-green.
Diarylides?
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
To some extent, these organic compounds have displaced cadmium sulfide from the market. So I wonder if it's like a different version of like cad yellow.
Could be.
I'm still trying to figure out how to pronounce it, though.
Doesn't say.
No, I was looking for like a janky computer voice trying to say
Mm-hmm.
it.
It doesn't do it. Okay, so I got a little bit too much on there. So what I'm going to do is just kind of clean out my brush, use a damp brush, and just kind of pull some of that color off the edge. Fluff out that edge a little bit. And go back in with my green in between. Add some dark green in here and there.
Okay, according to one person, it's Diarylide.
Diarylide?
But, I mean, they're an unusual suspect, so take it with a grain of salt until I get some janky computer voice here.
All right, I think I need you to dry it because when I'm doing my glazing here, it's starting to lift, so I'll let you take this and dry it really well. Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right, so while he's gone, I'll show you what we did on Sunday. This is our bonus video. Well, if you missed it, we worked on our little cow on Saturday. He turned out so cool. We called him Justin Beefer for the Bieber haircut. I thought he looked a little bit like J-Lo with the wind machine too, but he was really fun. And then on Sunday, we did this little guy. He took almost 5 hours. So poor Mark did not get a break this weekend. He did not have a day off. But I really like how it turned out. It was really, really fun. I like the colors in it. That dark. This is our Patreon bonus video for the month of March. So we did it early because we're not going to be here next weekend. So we're going to have a video tonight and then obviously, and then Thursday. And then we'll be off until the Saturday, the 23rd, I think it is, maybe. Let me check and see that date is right, but yep, 23rd. So we won't be back till the 23rd. So we'll be on Thursday night, which is not a normal night for us, and we'll be painting the Eiffel Tower landscape this Thursday, and then we'll be working on, so if you want to see this one, this in all its 4 hours plus glory, this was available for the $5 level on Patreon. So you can check that out if you're interested. That also includes the dolphin from last month that we did, the underwater dolphin, and we got all kinds of fun videos in there. Oops. So, alrighty. Yay. Okay, so now I think I'm going to switch to my scrubby brush. Oh, thanks. There's our Patreon link. Better late than never. Get a little bit of red here. Just scrub in a little bit of my red. Just a few places back in here where I want it soft looking. And I already put that pink in there, so it's kind of already got a little bit of a base. So this is where I left kind of some room. You want to be sure that you're using a dry canvas for this because it will, when you're scrubbing on it, it will lift off. You know, if you've got a wet paint or drying paint underneath, it'll lift it off your canvas, so you don't want that to happen. So just use a blow dryer, or just wait and let it dry completely before you do anything like this. Wiping most of that off. So I'm not using very much paint on my brush. That's really the key for this kind of wispy thing that we're going for here. Use this stiff bristle brush and just kind of use light brush strokes. What are you eating over there?
Peanuts.
Mm. You really could do any colors you wanted with this, as long as they kind of, you know, blended well together. So it doesn't have to be these particular colors. If you don't like them, you could use whatever you want. I really like it just like this. I mean, if you wanted to do that and call it a day, I think that's really pretty. So at any point in this kind of painting, you can, you know, quit, I would say. I would probably do 2 or 3 of these at the same time and just kind of experiment and do different things, you know, kind of try to create a color composition. So I wouldn't like, you know, maybe like if I was doing this, and I wouldn't like just do the blue in one spot. You know, usually when I have a color, have a predominant color. Our predominant color is kind of this yellow gold color here, and then our kind of secondary color is sort of our greenish color, and then we've got the reds and the blues as sort of our accents. And so I usually like you can use your kind of accent colors in just like one place, as long as it kind of is close enough to one of the other colors that it makes sense. You know, I wouldn't want to put like a, I don't know, just a weird, I'm trying to think what color would throw it off here, but
periwinkle.
Yeah, like maybe a light lavender or something. I don't know. There's just certain color.
Brown.
Yeah, brown, or I don't know. Like not in a big spot, you know. So just kind of, but I mean, really, that's what this kind of painting is all about, is just experimenting, you know. So just see what works, but keep in mind how the colors are going to mix. I'm using this green gold here, by the way. I'm just kind of filling in different areas here. I didn't really explain that very well, but that's all right. I don't know what I was trying to say anymore. I switched to the 3/8 inch angle, or 3/8 inch Willow's blender here. Sometimes it's hard for me to talk and make sense at the same time. Talk and paint and pay attention and try to like be creative.
Well, I was going to say that's normal when not painting also. Wait a minute. We might need side cam. Oh, look at that.
Okay, so now I'm just scrubbing it in because it kind of looked a little patchy here. So I'm just kind of trying to scrub in and make this really soft and blended. This blue, pretty. Lots of layers. So I'm not trying to get it all on one layer. That may be part, you know, the person that was saying that they go on dark. It could be that that they're trying to do too much all in one layer. I'm not sure. You know, there's a lot of things that could be, you know. I think take your time and just go, you know, do lots of multiple thin layers instead of just trying to cover it all in one, you know, massive.
Yeah, that was one thing that
layer. Grabbing some of this pink here.
That people liked from the Sunday side cam was zooming in to see how much pressure you are putting on the brush, and they were amazed at how little pressure sometimes you were using.
Right.
And then somebody asks, are there certain colors that you don't want to use as a glaze?
I almost need a fluorescent blue here. I feel like that blue is so bright.
Like you don't want to use one color to glaze over the other?
Well, I mean, you know, it depends on what you're going for. But yeah, I mean, if you look on the color wheel, you can see the colors that are opposite on the color wheel. Those are going to dull each other. They'll neutralize each other. So you'll end up with a matted or browned out version. So like whenever I'm going over I mean, sometimes it can be really effective, like in our tangerines here, for example. We glazed the green with phthalo blue, and then we also glazed on the tangerines themselves because our orange, the opposite color, is blue. So these dark green areas here, it was from phthalo blue as our glaze. So sometimes, you know, that creates that really nice neutral color, and you want it to do that. You know, if you wanted a bright blue, you wouldn't put it over that orange, you know. So that's when you wouldn't want to do that, you know. Like if I wanted a bright phthalo blue glaze, then I just have to know if I put it over orange, it's going to turn it a brown or a, you know, brownish, greenish, yellow, orange color, whatever it turned into. So, makes sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Grab some of my brighter yellow here now. I'm going to start kind of putting in some pops of bright petals. So we've got our kind of background colors in. And this color is kind of opaque, so it'll go over some of these other colors nicely. Soften up the edges. Since I'm putting them on kind of with this scrubby brush, I can kind of soften those edges as I go. I don't have to worry too much about blending them in. They're already going to be kind of blendy just because of the brush I'm using. Oh, it's really pretty. I love the purple, that bright blue with red. I really just love that color combination. And then this yellow orange is such a pretty color to accent it all. Okay. And I'm not really going 100% by the picture, reference picture, obviously, too. I'm just kind of doing my own little interpretation of it as I'm going here. If I was a flower, where would I want to live? I would be right here. This one we're not really concerned too much about perspective because pretty much everything that's above this area is completely blurry. So I'm not really worried, and everything that's kind of like too close to us is also completely blurry. So the only part that's really in focus is just like a few of them right in here. So we're not really worried too much about getting these sizes just so, you know, having the foreground ones bigger than the far ones because they're just really, you're not really seeing any of that. So that's there again, it just kind of makes this fun. This is very similar to the dragonfly, or not the dragonfly, the dandelion kind of background that we did last spring around this time. That kind of really flowy. So, I mean, this would be really pretty if you did a few of the dandelions over the top. It'd be really nice background for that. If you decided you wanted to do another one of those. I'm thinking about doing another one. If you guys want to see another dandelion picture, leave me a comment in the comments. I'm kind of on debating it. I have a really pretty picture that I found that I kind of want to do. But if everybody's over it, then I don't want, you know, I may be the only one that wants to paint one.
Hey, really quick.
Yeah.
The new traceables folder you created.
Yes.
Are all of your traceables in that folder?
Everything
February
except for the bonus videos.
Okay.
The bonus videos have their own folder.
Right. But from February 2017 until now, they're all in that one folder.
All of them, and even the older ones.
Oh,
all
okay.
of them.
All right.
All of them I've ever made.
So even though it says something...
Even the ones that were public.
Okay. Because somebody said they see a 2019 traceable in one spot, so they're all in there. They're
all in there. They're all mixed up, though, because when I added them, I didn't add them in order, and I can't resort them. You can sort them by name. That's probably the best you can do.
Okay. But at least
they all say copy of, though, too, because somehow the way I copied them in, they all ended up, so all the names say copy of, so you can't really see the names, but if you do, you can sort them by name, so even though you might not be able to see the names, you'll be able to sort of figure it out, hopefully. It's not a perfect system, hey, but it's better than what it was, so it's 1,000 times better than the old system of having to scroll through hundreds of posts. At least they're all on thumbnails, so you can actually see what you're getting. And I think if you do list view, you can see the names of them off to the side. It lines them all up. So, all right. Mixing kind of a purpley pink color here. I'm just going to tap in. So I thinned it down, way down with water here. And I'm just going to tap it onto my canvas here. This would be one that would be fun to do some of those like alcohol blooms on. I don't think I'm going to do it tonight, but I think that would be a really fun thing to try on this. Put your paint on kind of nice and juicy in a couple spots. Maybe when you first put on your paint, put it on like nice and thick and wet, and then drop some alcohol on it, and it creates these little bloom circle things happening. Or you could even do it over the top of this if you wanted to, just in a few spots. If you went with a really watered down area, you could still do it. But I'm not that brave tonight. We're pretty close. I want to put some stems in. So I'm going to get my angle brush, and that I started to create this color and I stopped. Decided I needed to work on the background a little bit longer. So here's the ultramarine or burnt umber and phthalo green here. And I'm just going to use the edge of my angle brush and just create some little stems. And they don't all have to even go all the way down. Since this is kind of blendy, we can kind of pretend some of these are just kind of living down in the down low. Let's try to keep them. I find that if I do it quickly, it's up to you. And if you get some on there that, just seem like a little too dark, just take your towel and just kind of dab off. And it'll kind of tone them down a little bit. Make them look sort of blended into the background. Like that. I can do them this way. And I'm kind of crisscrossing them so they're not all going in the same direction. Not all. Some of them are crossing over one another. I do want to kind of lead up to some of these poppy shapes that I've got going on. So some of these that have the little red poppies, I want to go. Let's grab some of that green gold, maybe a little bit of yellow. Go over some of these. Use some white so that it's more opaque. There we go. And I can dab in just some leaf shapes, some kind of random little dabs. If you do have a stem that's kind of floating out in midair, just kind of throw a leaf on it or something. It'll just make it look like, you know, just kind of anchor it a little bit so that it's not completely out there on its own. Just dabbing in some little random green here and there, not really overthinking it too much. There we go. That's pretty. Like it. And then let's grab some more of that dark. Let's grab some purple this time. And I'm going to create some bulbs. Now, these are those little seed pods that we're seeing. So to go to the end of some of these and just do a little dab. And this is pretty dark, so this is kind of like we're like, oh, scary, but it's going to look good. Trust me. This contrast is what really will give our painting some punch, like really punch of like, wow, let's give it some contrast. Don't make fun, hun. Mark's over there laughing at me.
Me? What?
Snickering.
No.
All right, grabbing some yellow here. Just getting a little bit of this whitish green that was over here. And let's put a little tab on top of these. Just a little dab. Some of these are really big, so I'm going to do one that's like really big right here. A little bit of white and the green gold. Big seed pod right there. Let's do another big one back in here. This is where we're doing a little bit more, you know, deliberate, bringing these to the foreground. So just kind of, you know, be thinking about placement of these, making sure that these have like a stem going to them, that kind of thing. This one's kind of bent over on itself right there. Go really dark on this side. Ooh, that's really thick. I got it too thick, so I just take my dry brush and I just come over it and scoop it back up. It'll lift it right off. Let's use some burnt sienna here. Add a little bit of white. Let's use some of this unbleached titanium with the burnt sienna. Haven't used it yet. Dab it onto the tops of some of these. Okay. And add some white, a little bit of this cadmium yellow or cadmium red light here with the white. I'm going to add it over here, a little bit darker. A couple of places. It's kind of a peachy color. So we'll put that over the top of some of these stems so that like pushes it back a little bit. What? Did I do something?
No, I'm just watching.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, okay. I thought I did something.
Yeah, you did.
You were like, ooh.
Something incredible.
Thanks, hon.
Oops.
You're so sweet.
Did it again. That's all I know about the song.
It's a good thing. Oh, adding some stems to these ones that have been sitting out here by themselves here. Okay. And now we want to put in our red. So I want to get everything kind of pretty much the way I want it before I do this red flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and back to the, let's go ahead and use this little bit bigger one here, the number 6 Filbert. Always picking up a little bit of water and then dabbing it off so that it's not too much on there. Grab some of my red. I'm going to grab a little bit of that Quinacridone Magenta. Create a bright cherry red color. And I'm going to go right up in here. Add one big one right here. Leave that showing right there. I'm going to leave that one, leave this, leave all this, and do one right in here. I'm going to try to fit it in right there. I'm not really worried too much about the borders of them, like making sense. Just try to get that kind of random cupped poppy shape. That's sort of all I'm going for here. So just trying to, it's kind of almost a bowl shape. Getting a little bit of purple. Going in kind of at the bottom. Adding some dark. Oh, it's so pretty. I love flowers. It's so fun. So fun. Okay, let's do this petal coming off here. It's almost like a straight edge right there. And then coming up like that. So I think that if you're finding that you're having trouble with flowers, or you feel like they're kind of difficult, I think maybe sometimes we try to fit them into our preconceived notion of what they're supposed to look like. In our mind's eye, a poppy looks a certain way, and when you put it on your canvas like this in these weird random shapes, your brain's going to be telling you, no, that's not what a poppy looks like. And you may overdo it or overcompensate or try to kind of fix something that doesn't need to be fixed, So just kind of every now and then just stop before you kind of keep on going with this kind of a process. Just every now and then stop and kind of take a step back and look at it and go, oh, okay. I kind of see it from a distance, and it'll be easier for you to go with the flow on, this kind of a painting that's a little bit out of the box, not a very structured flower shape, be a little bit easier. So I'm just going in and adding these random dark spots just to give it a little bit of depth. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't think I want to really mess with it. And really, I kind of like this flow that it's got of this kind of cupped shape. There's none down here in our picture. You know, if I wanted to, I could maybe put just a little, you know, random couple spots down in here, but I don't really think I need much of that. I mean, I think that it kind of tells the story on its own up here. So, and it's not in our picture. So, I mean, if that bugs you, you don't want it like a swatch of red all the way across. You can kind of, you know, add it other places if you feel like you need to. Just gonna kind of blend that in a little bit, soften it up. And then I can go in with the Cadmium Red Medium and Cadmium Red Light together. Create a kind of a more orangey version of this and just add a few little highlights with this brush. And I'm just kind of barely touching it down. Just trying to get a few little highlights in a few spots on our little poppies. Love it. Okay, and then we need to do a little bit more with the blue flowers and we'll be done. So grab a little bit of that ultramarine blue. I really kind of wish I'd grabbed a fluorescent blue. I think a fluorescent blue would be really pretty with this because it is kind of an electric blue.
Grab it.
Yeah, but it's not shaken up.
Oh, well, I'll shake it up.
I don't think I have the right, I don't think it's the right fluorescent though. I think it's kind of more of a greenish blue. It's not this kind of purpley blue color.
What would it be? In this drawer?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah, see, it's a greenish blue. It's not going to work.
That's greenish blue?
Mm-hmm.
What's bluish blue?
I need a purpley blue. This is a purpley blue. That's
purpley blue. Oh, well. Should have said that. I know.
It's fine, honey. It's not in there. I don't have it. So I'm trying to tell you. You're not listening.
How do you have 700 paints and know which ones you have? I don't understand it.
That's what I do. You know how many paraplanes you have? Probably.
How many what?
Airplanes you have? Well, you working on those? That's your job.
Well, yeah, but it's a much smaller number than the number of paints you have.
Still. Same difference. Just adding some dark to some of these flowers, just kind of at the bottom to anchor them. Add a little bit of the brighter blue. Let's grab a little bit of that white.
So you said one time that one of the reasons why you like to paint flowers is because we pretty much kill all of our plants.
Yeah.
And we were saying the other day that if this YouTube thing doesn't work out, we could open a plant hospice.
I think we would go, yeah, I think we would do well.
Where your plants will lovingly go to
their rest.
Go to their resting place, yes.
I like that idea. Okay, so just adding a little bit of this light blue here and there, just over the top of what we've already got. And I'm going to add some more of this bright hot pink because we put it on there with some white. So this one will go in straight. Add some really bright pink in a couple places. You can see how kind of glazing this color over that lighter area really makes it bright, 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 bright. Yeah, white underneath. Gives it something to shine off of. Give some of that pink down here. And if you need to go back in and add your stems back in, you know, if you covered up too much of your stems, you can do that too, you know, after you do this step. Like there may be some stems like in here that I kind of covered up, so I can go back in with my green and just put those back in. Just a few of them, doesn't have to be all of them. I see some up here that are kind of way up on their own. Just kind of do some little very faint transparent kind of greens. Okay. I think I'm going to do one more splatter with more of the white, a little bit of the green in it this time. Just do it down here. Trying to keep it away from the red as much as I can. It is okay if it goes on top of it a little bit, but I just don't want to have a ton of it over my red. There we go. Okay, I think I'm going to call that good. Fun, fun, fun.
Wow.
What do you think? Good?
Well, it's pretty nice. People are loving it, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I think it turned out pretty. Hope you guys try it.
Flowers and splatters. It's been several videos.
Yeah, I know. I was going through withdrawals.
Kind of made up for it.
I did. I put out all this glazing liquid and didn't use any of it. I kept putting it out, and I put it out a big glob because I was like, okay, fine. And I didn't use any of it. I'm just going to glaze in some more yellow here. And I mean, really, you can stop at any time. I think I'm happy with this, so I'm not going to mess with it anymore. Let's sign it. Grab my pen. I think I'm going to sign over here in this blue area, and I'm going to come up a finger's width so that I'm not right on the edge here, because that's usually taken up by your frame. So when you frame it, you don't want your signature to be cut off. There we go. Super chat. What? I'm going to put some of the dark splatters too while we're super chatting it up.
Man, last minute super chat.
Hey, nice.
That's the first one in several shows. And
yeah.
thank you so much to Susan. And she says, thank you, Angela, Mark, and Dom for keeping it real.
Oh.
Enjoyable. Thank you so much, Susan.
Awesome. Thank you.
And moo.
Moo. Oh, we got some PayPals the other day, too. I wanted to mention those people that sent us PayPal. Dude, I got to log in my PayPal account really quick.
I'll keep the lights going for PayPal.
Thanks.
Yeah, so again, links down below.
Give it a thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know if you want to see
Dandelions.
Dandelions, yeah. Patricia Lowe, Deidre Pupp, and Kathleen Brown.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
They donated to us.
Yeah.
During the Patreon bonus video. which was really sweet because they already paid to be in the Patreon bonus video.
And like, we can't do super chat.
I know.
During
so
unlisted,
sweet.
During unlisted, you can't, so they went out of their way.
Yeah, they did. I'm going to put a little bit of red on top of some of these little buds here. Notice there's a little bit of red on there. A couple places. All right. Oh, yeah, I was going to do some more splattering. I thought maybe a dark color.
So while you're doing splattering, somebody said, somebody's asked, how do you deal with haters? They said that some college friends are over analytical with their paintings.
Yeah.
So what do you do? What do you say?
That's rough.
First, I would ask them to present their art police badge credentials, because sometimes there's people who impersonate.
Impersonate the art police.
Art police, so they need to be legal art police. So if they can't do that, show them the back of your hand and walk away.
I would say that there is art out there for everybody. Art is very subjective. There are outsider artists like Grandma Moses and different ones that are celebrated for their uniqueness and their differentness, and that we need to embrace all kinds of different art styles, and that, there's not one way of doing art that's right. I'm showing you what I like to do with my art, and you hopefully will have your own interpretation that you'll come to know and enjoy as you progress in your art journey. And so putting somebody in a box and telling them that their art should look a certain way is just wrong, I think. I just really don't like, that's one of the things that I don't like about the art community. There are times when, we do request critiques, and that's fine. But if it's not requested, I don't give advice on art unless it's requested. So, and if you're not going for like pure realism or a certain style, I think that, embrace being a beginner. I mean, I would say to your friends, if you're new to art and you are just learning it, I would say to them, would you sit down at a piano and be able to play Beethoven the first time or the third time or the fourth time you did it? No, I'm learning and I'm progressing hopefully in my art, and I'm new in my art journey, and hopefully I'll be better next year and the year after that. But right now I am where I am and I'm happy with it, and just, I think that's a fair way of dealing with, critics, is just say, I am new to this art journey. I'm learning, and it may not be what you think is beautiful art, but I'm really happy with the way I'm progressing in my art journey right now. So, and just keep on going. You just kind of have to shake those things off, because I've been painting for 30 something years now, and I get critiques too, that really chap my hide sometimes. So it's not just you. Everybody's got their own opinion about what art should look like, and I think that's narrow-minded. I think that's a narrow-minded way of looking at art. And that's why I laugh and call them the art police, because there are just some people out there that think art should be a certain way, and they try to put it in a box. And I just don't feel like that's right. So,
well, the only one real rule I know about art is paint on the white side of the canvas.
There you go.
The other side of the canvas, no.
No.
Come on.
Yep.
Oh, hold on.
It'd be ridiculous.
I got to ring my bell again.
Uh-oh. Ooh. I'm going to put in some white glazy stuff, because I'm seeing some white glazy stuff that I missed here. Very cool.
We got another one from Ashley.
Oh, thank you, Ashley.
And she says, for those inspiring words of wisdom.
Oh.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you, Ashley. Well, good. I hope that helps somebody, because
no, she was talking about me and the paint on the white side.
Oh, okay.
No.
Art can be brutal. And that's why I started that Facebook group too, for beginner artists, the Thankful Art group. The number one rule is be kind. Don't give critiques unless they're asked for. And that way, we can all kind of just rejoice in each other's art journeys and not get too stressed out by the whole process.
That's right.
So, all right, there we go. Just added a little bit of little bit of whites. I just kind of noticed there was some white little dobbies things. All right. Love this. Hope you try it. It's a lot of fun. Don't get stressed out. Just kind of go with the flow. Let it happen. Blend out your edges. That's the main thing. It'll happen. So, all right.
And then next show is on Thursday.
Next show, 2 nights from now. Yeah, 2 nights from now. And then vacation. I got to pack. What are we doing?
I don't know. I haven't packed
even started
either,
packing. So. Wow. We got to pack tomorrow because we're...
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
I'm not ready. Okay. I'm starting to panic.
So what are we painting?
We're painting the Eiffel Tower with some cherry blossoms hanging over. It's going to be very like soft impressionist style. I'm going to try to keep it. It's not going to be super detailed. I'm going to try to keep it really easy and simple. So, all right, guys. Thanks so much, those who donated. That was so sweet of you. And we will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.